Hello guys, my name is Jason Renda Sanjaya. I'm from statistics class in Mr. Aditya's class, and today I'm going to show you how to analyze using SPLS or Smart PLS to analyze data. So here we go. Okay, so this is the result of my survey, and in this case I'm using 100 sample, for example. You can conduct by using Google Form or anything else to survey, and this is the result for, I guess. In this case, I use two variables, one median and one dependent variables. For the uh, for the independent variables, I'm using the price, and the second one I'm using the excitement. And for the medicine, I'm using the positive feelings, and the dependent variables, I'm using the repeat value. So when you conduct a review from survey from Google Form, you'll get the data in Excel files, and what you're gonna do is going to open it on the Excel, Microsoft Excel, to check it, and then if you think it's already right, you can turn it into CSV file like this. After that, you can go open your Smart PLS. So what you're gonna do next is open your SPLS, and this is how the SPLS interface. So what you're gonna do now is to open new project. You can name it anything you want. So for example, I'm using ELP this. In this, you can double click this to import your data. The data is actually the data you saved before as a CSV files, and double click and open it. You can name it anything you want, and okay. So this is a data shown for the survey, and what you're gonna do next is to double click this to make a model. You can name it anything. So next is open the model you've been created before. Then you can put what your independent variable, for example like this, into this, and what your second independent is like this. Then you can use your material like this. Then you can connect each of it with vectors. Okay, like this. Okay, then we can calculate it, whether they connect each other or they just this have significance. Okay, so this is the result. Alright, so let's check for the next. Okay, before we're going to the next step, first of all we have to know the data for the mean and the standard deviation. For that, we go to the data set, this, and this is the mean of the data, and the standard deviation is this. You can see this. Okay, then after we know that, we can go back to the model and calculate the correlation. We can go to the algorithm. and start. Okay, then you find Latin variable. Okay, so this is the correlation of the data. So by this you can know if the data is significant or not, related or not. If the data or the data set is below 0.4, it means that the data is weak. And if it's higher than 0.4, then the data is not weak, is strong. So next is we're going to find the auto loadings like this. There's a set of data. What we're gonna do is to remove the red one to make the data more significant. For this case, just to red in here, what you're gonna do is, for example, remove the Q, V2 and the Q, V3. QV2 and the QV3. Delete and then you can back with this or this and cover it again. And you can see the data is significant right now. Okay, then so the next thing we're gonna do is to check the reliability of the data. From this we're gonna use three methods, which is batch method, row A and DVE. Okay, for the first one is complex. It is shown that there's one data which is red or below 0.7. Which means in complex alpha, the data is not reliable. And the second one is row A. There's also one data which is not reliable. But for the average DVE, the data shown that almost all of them are above 0.7, which means the data is reliable. Okay, then what we do now is checking the validity of the data. You can use this. Okay, as you can see here, it is shown that the data is good. It is indicated by showing the data is all less than 0.9. It means the data is good and it is valid. Okay, so after we check on the HTMT, now we go to the fifth one, like here. Okay, as you can see, this the data is 5 or less than 5, which is there's no problem with the collinearity and the statistic. Okay, now let's go to check if the data we have now is significant or not. So to check the significant, we can go this by calculate it and bootstrapping, and you can calculate it now. And you can see here within the data there is a significant point between Latin variable 1 and 3, and here 2 and 3, and 3 and 4. You can know if there is any significant between your data and this by the efficient. And the next one we're going to the specific indirect effect. And as you can see, there's a significant effect. Now you can know if there is a significant effect or not by this specific indirect effect. And for example, in this data, there's no such significant effect. So, okay. So the next thing is we're going to the R-square test. You can go to the PLS algorithm here, and you can just, and as you can see here, so for the R-square, there is in this case there's 56.5% significant, we can know. And for the next independent variable, there's a 63.3% effect on this variable. Okay, so the next step is for the analyzing the F-square. And for this one, there's only two variable which can be seen, and there's only a small significant effect, which is for this case 9.2%, and the second one is 64.1% effect. So the next thing we're gonna do is to check the reliability of the data. From this, we're gonna use three method, which is batch method, row A, and DVE. Okay, for the first one is complex. It is shown that there's one data which is red or below 0.7. Which means in complex alpha, the data is not reliable. And the second one is row A. There's also one data which is not reliable. But for the average DVE, the data shown that almost all of them are above 0.7, which means the data is reliable.